Good evening, everyone. It is a sincere pleasure to see you all here tonight. Good evening, my name is Jane Shodel. I'm the lead programmer for TIFF's special presentation program, and it gives me great pleasure. Hello, thank you again. Welcome to Special Presentations. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to tonight's world premiere screening of On the Come Up, directed by Sanaa Lathan. Welcome you to the Visa Screening Room at the Princess of Wales Theatre. Thank you to our longtime major sponsor, Visa Canada. I would like to thank our lead and major sponsors, Bell, RBC, and Bulgari, for their continued support. Thank you to our major supporters, the Government of Canada, the Government of Ontario, Telefilm Canada, and the City of Toronto for their continued support. This film has been selected for the next generation of film lovers by the TIFF Next Wave Committee. Supported, let's hear it for Next Wave. Supported by the Shawn Mendes Foundation, the City of Toronto, and the Ontario Arts Council. Next Wave is TIFF's year-round programming for young audiences. This film is eligible for the People's Choice Award. Vote for your favorite films at tiff.net/vote. And we would like to thank Paramount Plus for providing us with this film. On the Come Up is the story of Bree, a young girl of high school age who aspires to be a rap star, fulfilling her own creative dreams, but also extending the legacy of her late father, whose own fiery rise in the music world was cut short by his death. Beautifully adapted by Kay O'Yegan and Zora Howard from the novel by Angie Thomas, the film is the directorial debut. Let's hear it for Angie Thomas. This film is the directorial debut from Sanaa Lathan, whose own 25-year career as an actress has spanned films such as Love and Basketball, and Raising in the Sun, to numerous roles in television series including The Affair, Succession, and Family Guy. Once you have seen tonight's film, though, I'm sure you may think, as I did, Ms. Lathan, we are so grateful that you have revealed yet another layer of talent. On the Come Up has everything you could hope for in a cinema experience: a compelling story, tremendous performances, amazing music. But two other things make it really special. First, its universal central theme around identity, community, and an individual's search for her true soul. And second, for the warm, sometimes challenging, but ultimately soaring and supportive community that Bree is surrounded by. They have lived in my head and in my heart since seeing the film, and I think they will in yours. We're very pleased to have an opportunity to speak with some of our guests after the screening, but please join me in welcoming beforehand Director Sanaa Lathan.
Here. I am over the moon, excited, I'm nervous, I'm bursting with joy. This is a moment in my life. Thank you all for being here. I'm probably gonna cry. I wrote a little something on my phone because I knew I'd be too excited to be off the cuff, so here we go. As a little girl, I would always tell people I want to be a director, like my dad, when I grow up. I grew up around lots of art and artists, and as a toddler, I ran around backstage in Broadway theaters where my mom was performing as a dancer. I'd often sneak unsupervised into the front of the theater to watch in wonder from the house amongst strangers. It was the 70s. Throughout my childhood, I'd also visit my dad on sets and was awed by the community that was behind the camera. And my dream of becoming a director was formed. Life wasn't always easy with parents who were struggling to make it as Black artists in America. We had lots of challenges. And when I was 14, I started acting in a New York City after-school drama program for Black teens and learned that acting could be a healing and transformative vessel for all my trauma and angst, very parallel to what Bree, our protagonist in On the Come Up, does with her poetry and rapping. A few years later, on a whim, I auditioned for drama school. Getting in sort of redirected my dream, and I fell in love with telling stories by inhabiting characters on stage. Once I graduated, the demand, the challenge, the struggle of being a Black young woman in Hollywood took every ounce of my soul, my will, my strength, and my focus. And for the next 20-something years, I am so fortunate and so blessed to have built a career in front of the camera. I always knew that I would direct. I didn't know it would be this soon. During the pandemic, I directed a short film in my house starring me and my dog, Nala. I showed it to my agents, and they liked it. They asked if they could start submitting me for directing projects, and I was like, okay, thinking maybe I'd do something a couple of years down the line. But within a matter of months, I got the opportunity to pitch for this movie called On the Come Up, and the rest is history. I want to say thank you so much to the Toronto Film Festival and Cameron Bailey for having us. It is a huge, huge honor to debut here, and I'm so deeply appreciative. We all know that it takes a village to make a movie, and I want to give thanks to some amazing cast and crew that are here. Angie Thomas. It all begins with you and your beautiful New York Times best-selling novel, On the Come Up. Thank you for your words. My incredibly supportive producers, Wick Godfrey, John Fisher, Bob Title, Tim Bourne, all the wonderful folks over at Paramount. Special shout out to Clarence Hammond, Daria, Dom, Areli, Marissa, Eric Bronco, my amazing director of photography, is here. The phenomenal Lady London blessed us with her presence. The genius that is Rhapsody, my rap maestro. Thank you to my cast, Cliff, Method Man Smith. This man is a fine actor. I mean, you know, no pun intended, but he's fine, and he's fine. I actually told him, I said, if you do this, you know, I'll help campaign for you to get a Marvel superhero role, which is, you know. So I'm living up to the promise. There's lots of press here, you know, lots of people in the business, so y'all, you know, make it happen. Okay, who else? The Davine, Joy Randolph, you are a force of nature, and I am so lucky to have you in my movie. Mike Epps is here, Miles Gutierrez Riley, Michael Cooper Jr., and my Bree, Jamila C. Gray. I am so proud of you all. I am so proud of you all and can't wait for the world to see your work. My great friend and frequent collaborator, Gina Prince Bythewood, is in the house. Gina was incredibly supportive and encouraging on my directing journey and was a very frequent sounding board. So thank you, Gina, I love you. My soul tribe is here, who supported me and lifted me up during this incredibly intense journey, the one and only Sanaa Lathan. Maggie, Ariel, Shakai, Aichi, Tendaji, Chloe, Tammy, thank you, I love you guys. Words shape who we are in the world. Words matter. Language matters. And this is the story of Bree, who discovers and owns who she is authentically through a journey lifted up by her words. It has been one of the joys of my life these last 2 years to make this movie. Thank you for being here. And without further ado, here is On the Come Up.
So we're very pleased that we have the opportunity to have a couple of minutes conversation with our guests from the film. So this is how we're going to do it. If you have a question, if you could please put your hand up and wave it a little bit against the light. I'm going to do my best to see you. I'm going to try to get somebody from every level. If you could speak as briefly and as loudly as you can, I'm going to repeat the question for the benefit of everybody here in the house and for our guests on stage. Okay, I think that's everything. Please join me in welcoming back and congratulating director Sanaa Lathan.
Thank you. So I just want to introduce my amazing, talented cast. Who's first? Michael Cooper Jr., he plays Malik. Michael B. Jordan, better watch out. Al Tyrone Williams, he plays Scrap. He represented with the hair. Miles Gutierrez Riley. Yeah! Lil Yachty. Playing Infamous Mills. Cliff Method Man Smith. The amazing Rhapsody, who wrote all the battles. Are we doing Angie? Angie Thomas. The author of the novel. The divine Joy Randolph. And, Lady London, who played Mystique. She also wrote the Lawless song and contributed lyrically. And last but not least, my star, Jamila C. Gray. Looks so beautiful.
Please just congratulate them again. Thank you. It was just amazing. Thank you. All right. All right. Would we have a question right there in the pink shirt, I think? Yeah. Okay, you get one. All right, I'm going to repeat those for the benefit of everyone. So this is for Angie. When you write the novel, are you thinking about what it's going to look like on the screen?
Okay. Hi. I try not to because I want to give room to the other creatives who are going to come into this and bring it to life on film. You know, as an author, I'm always going to picture things in my head, but I never want that to be the biblical truth, so to speak. So I want the director, I want the producers to bring their vision to the table and bring it to life. But I gotta say, in this one, it's everything I wanted and then some.
And the second question was for Sanaa, what was it like to be both on the screen and then directing?
It was annoying. I knew as I started delving and doing character work for all the characters, I kind of fell in love with Jay, and I was like, I should play this. And, I've been doing it for forever, 100 years, and, you think that it's just going to be easy. And I have to say, every time they pulled me, they're like, okay, you have to go to your trailer and put on your costume. I was like, huh? No. It is not. It's a different part of your brain, and I don't know that I will jump at doing both again. But, it still was, I loved Jay, and I loved playing her, but it definitely was a challenge, more than I thought it would be.
Yes, right back there, yes. Yes. Did everybody hear it? I'm sorry, could you say again? For that? Okay. I have the light. Down in front here.
This one is for Miles. What was your favorite part of playing Sunny?
This is a question for Miles. What was your favorite part of playing Sunny?
Sunny is so rambunctious. You know what I mean? He's like just a goofball. He's just over the top, and he kind of reminded me of myself when I was 15, just using his hands a little too much all the time. But obviously, there's nothing like playing a queer character in a film that has so much impact on the Black and brown communities. It's never, never, never gonna not be important. It was really, really important to me to bring him to life and to have fun while doing it. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Yes, in the white shirt there, please. This is a question for Method Man and Lil Yachty. What was it like to move into a different art form, and were there any examples in the music business that you used to make this transition?
So it's for me at least, it's much more like just intricate, because with like making music you can kind of freestyle and go with the flow, and with acting it's like whatever she says goes, which I fully respect. So it's more so like for me just like a student thing, just like really soaking up and just making sure I did not stress her or get on her nerves any. So yeah.
And for me, I'm a boss in real life, so it wasn't no big stress.
Right. That's right.
Thank you, Cousin Sheila. I'm glad I brought you with me.
All right, yes, on the aisle here, please.
Everybody's experience, well, not everybody, but a lot of people's experience is different. Sometimes we talk about the violent stuff so nobody else has to go through it. It's just examples of the lifestyle that we live in. A lot of it has to do with PTSD. A lot of us suffer that when we grow up in these situations. Imagine a 5-year-old seeing someone be shot in front of them. Some of you couldn't even imagine that. And some of you would never hear about it if we didn't have rappers talking about it. So, but I see your point. I see your point. But some of this stuff that we talk about has to be brought to the masses. This is a cry for help, mostly.
Yes, on the aisle there, please. Great question. The question was, thank you very much, and what other, I was so enwrapped by your question, what other roles would you like to see Black people do that they haven't had an opportunity to do before?
I just, honestly, one of the things I love as an actor is playing the spectrum of the human condition. And it's interesting because you can also be stereotyped in a morally good way. And there's been a lot of that, oh, we're gonna make the Black person the judge or the detective. We can't see a Black prostitute. For me, what's interesting is that we're all human. At the core, we are all the same, and we were all ugly and beautiful and layered, and I wanna see it all. I wanna see it all on screen, you know? All the stories.
Yes, I see you, sir, right there. Go ahead.
Thank you. Oh, nice.
Man, stop playing. That's Yachty. Don't play like that.
Or is he talking to Michael? He might be
Oh,
talking to
I'm
Mike.
sorry.
Michael's
Oh, let me shut up.
Was it green? Oh, there's a bunch of green. You gotta specify, my brother.
So I had a whole playlist. But where are you?
Right up there, up in the balcony.
Okay. Rhapsody really helped me shape this character. I took a lot of the influence from her. There is another artist named Miss Jade as well, who also has a song called On the Come Up. Really? Yeah, she has a song called On the Come Up. So I listened to a lot of her, developed my voice by watching a lot of battle rap. One of the main ones I watched was Queen of the Ring. I listened to a lot of Biggie. But I feel like what really drove the passion was the message at the end of the day.
We have time for one more question right there. It's okay. Okay, I'll come.
I think, why y'all laughing? I think, I must be a joke. I think the most important tool, and I always tell people this, whether you're a musician or creative in any sort or anything, is to use the internet, you know, and the phone that we all have in our pockets or hands, because it is like the most vital tool of ever. It's like just evolved into something so like amazing, you know, and you press one button and it can go across the world, you know. So I say we should use and utilize the phone and the internet, you know. Why was that funny?
Would anybody else like to speak to that? What are the tools that can best be used to help people move forward?
I would say, in addition to that, to have a foundation to stand on, first you have to know who you are, right? And because you have to wake up and look yourself in the mirror every single day. And if you're not doing something that's authentic to you, then you burn out really fast, right? So I would say first, know who you are. You got to put the work in, you know, 10,000 hours. I live and die by that. Make great relationships, brand yourself. But, you know, also always show up as yourself, because you can't be a better version of anybody else. You know, what makes you different and what sets you apart and what will keep you here is forever, because nobody can copy your DNA of what God gave you and your gift and your purpose and your passion. And you make that your foundation mixed with his tools, you know, everything else aligns and manifests as, you know, you give it out into the world.
Anything you'd like to add to that, Sanaa?
No, she said it. She said it. One of the biggest, I mean, there's so many, I'm not really into messages, but there's so many messages in Angie's work as well as this film. And I love the idea that an audience comes to the film with themselves, and people get different things. And, but one of the messages for me that really resonated is to be your authentic self, just like she said. Like, to really find out what drives you, what do you really like to do, what do you find yourself doing the most, and follow that. And I feel like, in general, when people follow their passion and work hard at it, then they get ahead.
Thank you so much for bringing this film to us here. We're so honored. Thank you so much for sharing it with us tonight. Congratulations to you all. Thank you so
guys.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is amazing.